Welcome to a world of magical tales. In these short fables for bedtime, animals share adventures and wisdom. As you snuggle in, let the clever foxes and wise owls guide you through enchanting stories filled with timeless lessons. Are you ready for a bedtime journey into the world of fables? Let the storytelling begin.
The Woman and the Hen. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village surrounded by fields of green and blooming flowers, there lived a kind-hearted woman named Mrs. Thompson. Mrs. Thompson had a small but cozy farmhouse, and in her backyard, she kept a few hens that provided her with delicious eggs every day. One of Mrs. Thompson's hens was particularly special. This hen, named Henrietta, had a remarkable talent. She laid an egg every single day. Mrs. Thompson marveled at Henrietta's consistency and the wonderful eggs she produced. Each morning, Mrs. Thompson would happily collect the fresh eggs, grateful for the abundance that Henrietta provided. One day, as Mrs. Thompson gathered the eggs from the cozy nest Henrietta had made in the corner of the chicken coop, a thought crossed her mind. What if Henrietta could lay even more eggs? Perhaps if I give her more to eat, she'll lay twice as much, Mrs. Thompson pondered. Excited by her idea, Mrs. Thompson decided to try and enhance Henrietta's already impressive egg-laying abilities. She went to the village market and bought the finest grains and seeds, thinking that the extra nutrients would surely encourage Henrietta to lay more eggs. From that day on, Henrietta's diet transformed. Mrs. Thompson, with great care, started feeding her special grains, fresh vegetables, and even a few tasty treats. Henrietta, pleased with the extra attention and delicious food, happily pecked away at her new, luxurious meals. As the days passed, Mrs. Thompson eagerly anticipated finding not one, but two eggs in Henrietta's cozy nest. However, to her surprise, something unexpected happened. Henrietta, despite the lavish meals and added treats, did not lay two eggs. In fact, she stopped laying altogether. Concerned, Mrs. Thompson observed Henrietta closely. The once energetic and productive hen seemed sluggish and uninterested in her surroundings. Mrs. Thompson realized that her attempt to enhance Henrietta's egg-laying abilities had backfired, and Henrietta's health had suffered as a result. Distressed by the unintended consequence of her actions, Mrs. Thompson sought the advice of the village's wise old farmer, Mr. Johnson. Johnson, with his weathered hands and a deep understanding of farm life, listened to Mrs. Thompson's tale. "Or, Mrs. Thompson, sometimes less is more," Mr. Johnson said with a knowing smile. "Creatures, be they hens or humans, thrive on balance and simplicity. Perhaps Henrietta just needs the basics: good food, fresh water, and a peaceful environment." Taking Mr. Johnson's advice to heart, Mrs. Thompson decided to return to Henrietta's original diet. She provided her with simple, wholesome grains, fresh water, and allowed her to roam freely in the backyard, enjoying the warmth of the sun and the cool breeze. To Mrs. Thompson's relief, Henrietta responded positively to the change. The glimmer returned to her eyes, and her feathers regained their luster. Slowly but surely, Henrietta resumed laying her daily egg, proving that sometimes the simplest approach is the most effective. Mrs. Thompson learned a valuable lesson about balance and the importance of understanding the needs of her feathery friends. She realized that Henrietta's consistent egg-laying was a result of a healthy and well-balanced life, not an abundance of treats and fancy grains. With a newfound appreciation for the natural rhythm of farm life, Mrs. Thompson continued to care for Henrietta and the other hens in her backyard. She cherished the daily routine of collecting fresh eggs and shared them with her neighbors, spreading the joy of simplicity and balance. And so, in the peaceful village surrounded by fields of green and blooming flowers, Mrs. Thompson and her hens lived harmoniously. Henrietta, with her daily egg laying, became a symbol of the beauty found in simplicity, reminding everyone that sometimes the best way to nurture life is with a kind heart, a gentle touch, and an understanding of the delicate balance that sustains us all. The end. The Lion and the Mouse. Once upon a time, in a vast and colorful jungle, there lived a wise and powerful lion named Leo. Leo was the king of the jungle, known for his strength, courage, and fairness in ruling over the diverse community of animals. The jungle was a lively and harmonious place, where creatures big and small coexisted peacefully. On a warm and sunny day, as the sun cast its golden rays over the jungle, Leo found a comfortable spot beneath the shade of a towering tree. The rustling leaves and the gentle hum of nature created a soothing melody as Leo closed his eyes for a midday nap. As Leo drifted into a peaceful slumber, a small, energetic mouse named Mia scurried through the underbrush. Unaware of the sleeping lion, Mia's tiny paws carried her across the jungle floor until she found herself on the back of the majestic Leo. Leo, feeling a ticklish sensation on his back, stirred from his nap. Opening his eyes, he beheld the sight of the tiny mouse exploring his great mane. With a swift movement, Leo caught Mia in his mighty paws, his amber eyes narrowing in surprise. "Who dares to disturb the king's rest?" Leo's voice rumbled through the jungle, causing leaves to tremble. Trembling but courageous, Mia looked up at the imposing lion and said, "Oh great Leo, please spare my life. In return, I promise to do you a great favor one day." Leo, amused by the audacity of the small creature making promises to a lion, chuckled heartily. The jungle echoed with his laughter as he released Mia, saying, "Very well, little one. Run along and remember your promise." A favor from a mouse, indeed. Mia wasted no time in scurrying away, her heart pounding with gratitude for the unexpected escape. Leo, still chuckling to himself, settled back into his resting spot, dismissing the encounter with the tiny mouse as a momentary amusement. Days turned into weeks, and Leo resumed his duties as the jungle's wise and just ruler. The memory of the encounter with Mia faded into the background as the routine of jungle life continued. Unbeknownst to Leo, however, a group of hunters had entered the outskirts of the jungle, seeking to capture the mighty lion. These hunters, skilled and determined, moved stealthily through the thick vegetation. Their goal was to capture Leo and take him away, where he would no longer roam freely in the jungle. As the news of the hunters' presence spread through the animal community, fear and worry gripped the hearts of the jungle inhabitants. Leo, oblivious to the impending danger, continued his daily activities. Little did he know that his carefree days were about to be disrupted by the arrival of these intruders. The hunters, armed with nets and ropes, closed in on the unsuspecting lion. It was a sunny afternoon when the hunters finally spotted Leo resting beneath the shade of a giant tree. With careful precision, they cast a net over the unsuspecting lion, trapping him within its confines. Before Leo could react, he found himself entangled in a web of ropes, his mighty roar now muted by the captivity that bound him to a sturdy tree. News of the lion's capture spread like wildfire through the jungle, reaching the ears of Mia. The tiny mouse, still remembering the promise she had made to Leo, felt a sense of duty and determination. She knew that it was time to repay the favor and help the mighty lion who had once spared her life. With courage in her heart, Mia set out on a journey to find Leo. Guided by the distant sounds of the captured lion's roars, Mia navigated the jungle with determination. Her small size allowed her to move discreetly through the dense vegetation, avoiding the attention of the hunters who patrolled the area. As Mia approached the captive lion, she witnessed Leo's desperate struggle against the ropes that bound him. The sight tugged at her heart, strengthening her resolve to keep the promise she had made. She began to nibble away at the thick ropes, using her sharp teeth to slowly unravel the knots that held the mighty lion captive. The process was slow and demanding, but Mia pressed on, fueled by the memory of Leo's laughter and the promise she had made that seemed improbable at the time. As she worked tirelessly to free Leo, the jungle around them buzzed with tension and anticipation. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the last strand of rope gave way, and Leo was liberated. The mighty lion, now free, roared in gratitude, his eyes filled with admiration for the tiny mouse who had come to his rescue. Leo looked down at Mia and said, "You, dear mouse, have proven that bravery comes in all sizes. I doubted your words, but you've shown me the strength found in even the smallest among us. I am grateful for your courage and loyalty." Mia, though small in stature, beamed with pride. She had not only saved the mighty lion, but also demonstrated the value of keeping promises, no matter how unlikely they may seem. The jungle, once filled with worry, was now alive with the sounds of celebration as the news of Leo's liberation spread. From that day forward, Leo and Mia became an unlikely duo, showcasing to the jungle inhabitants the importance of unity and the strength found in unexpected alliances. The tale of Leo and Mia became a legend, inspiring generations of animals in the jungle. The jungle's residents learned that kindness, courage, and promises, no matter how small, could create bonds that withstood the tests of time. Leo and Mia's friendship became a symbol of the interconnectedness of all creatures, regardless of their size or strength. And so, in the heart of the vast and colorful jungle, the lion and the mouse lived harmoniously, teaching everyone that even the smallest acts of kindness could have a profound impact. The tale of Leo and Mia continued to be told, passed down from one generation to the next, a reminder that true strength lies in compassion and cooperation. And in the big, green jungle, the lion and the mouse lived happily ever after. The end. The Lyre. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and green meadows, there lived a mischievous boy named Timmy. Timmy's family owned a small flock of fluffy white sheep, and it was his responsibility to watch over them as they grazed in the sun-drenched fields. Timmy, however, had a penchant for mischief. He loved to play tricks on the villagers and, most notably, on the hard-working peasants who toiled in the fields. One sunny afternoon, as the sheep peacefully nibbled on the sweet grass, Timmy hatched a mischievous plan. With a twinkle in his eye, Timmy crouched down in the grass, scanning the horizon for any sign of the unsuspecting peasants. Spotting them in the distance, he couldn't resist the temptation to play a prank. He took a deep breath and began to cry out in a loud, dramatic voice, "Help! A wolf, a wolf!" The villagers, alerted by Timmy's cries, dropped their tools and rushed to the field, concern etched on their faces. However, when they arrived, they found no sign of a wolf. Instead, they saw Timmy, grinning mischievously among the peacefully grazing sheep. The peasants shook their heads, scolding Timmy for his false alarm. "You silly boy, you shouldn't cry wolf when there isn't one. It's not a joke," they chided, returning to their work with a sense of annoyance. Undeterred by the scolding, Timmy found the whole ordeal amusing. He waited until the villagers resumed their tasks before bursting into laughter at the success of his prank. Little did he know that his mischievous actions would have consequences. A few days passed, and Timmy, still reveling in the memory of his prank, couldn't resist the urge to play the same trick again. Once more, he cried out, "Help! A wolf, a wolf!" The villagers, remembering Timmy's previous antics, were skeptical but hurried to the field just in case. To their dismay, there was no wolf in sight, only Timmy, laughing and rolling on the grass. The villagers, now irritated, warned Timmy that such pranks were not only irresponsible, but also a waste of their time. "You'll regret it if there ever is a real danger, and we don't believe you," they cautioned. Timmy, however, paid little heed to their warnings. The thrill of tricking the villagers was too enticing for him to resist. Unbeknownst to him, his actions were sowing the seeds of doubt among the villagers, making them less likely to believe him in the future. As the days turned into weeks, the mischievous boy continued his wolf cries, each time relishing in the villagers' reactions. However, his frequent false alarms had created a sense of disbelief among the villagers. They began to dismiss Timmy's cries as nothing more than the antics of a boy seeking attention. One day, as the sun dipped below the horizon and cast long shadows over the fields, a real wolf silently approached the flock of sheep. Timmy, unaware of the impending danger, was busy daydreaming by the edge of the meadow. The wolf, hungry and cunning, pounced on the unsuspecting flock. The sheep bleated in distress as the wolf swiftly seized one after another. The villagers, having grown weary of Timmy's pranks, paid little attention to his cries for help. "Come quickly! A wolf! A wolf!" Timmy yelled desperately, realizing the grave mistake he had made. However, the villagers, convinced that this was just another one of Timmy's tricks, shook their heads and continued with their chores. The wolf, seizing the opportunity, ruthlessly attacked the defenseless sheep, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. When the villagers finally looked up and saw the chaos in the meadow, it was too late. The once fluffy flock had been decimated, and the wolf disappeared into the shadows, sated and triumphant. Timmy, guilt-ridden and remorseful, stood among the remaining sheep, tears streaming down his face. The villagers, realizing the consequences of their skepticism, approached Timmy with a heavy heart. "We should have listened, Timmy. We should have believed you," they murmured, their faces filled with regret. Timmy, though saddened by the loss, learned a valuable lesson that day: the consequences of dishonesty and the importance of trust. The once mischievous boy, now humbled by the events that unfolded, vowed never to deceive others again. The village, despite the loss of their sheep, came together to support Timmy in rebuilding the flock. The experience served as a reminder to everyone about the significance of honesty and the repercussions of not taking others seriously, especially in times of need. And so, in the quiet village surrounded by rolling hills and green meadows, a lesson was learned and a mischievous boy became wiser. The tale of Timmy and the wolf was passed down from generation to generation, a reminder that words have consequences and trust is a fragile but essential bond. The end. The Lion, the Bear, and the Fox. Once upon a time, in a vast and magical forest, there lived a mighty lion and a formidable bear. The forest was teeming with all sorts of creatures, from the smallest insects to the grandest trees, creating a lively and harmonious ecosystem. However, our story begins with an unusual event that disrupted the peaceful balance of the forest. One sunny day, the lion and the bear found themselves near a clearing where a succulent piece of meat lay, unattended. Its tantalizing aroma wafted through the air, capturing the attention of both predators. Their eyes locked onto the prize, and without a word, a silent agreement passed between them: they would share the meat. The lion, with its golden mane and regal presence, and the bear, with its massive frame and powerful paws, approached the meat simultaneously. However, as they each reached for the mouth-watering morsel, a subtle tension arose. It seemed that both the lion and the bear were unwilling to give up their claim to the delicious treat. What started as a cooperative venture quickly turned into a fierce competition. The lion roared, displaying its impressive fangs, while the bear stood on its hind legs, growling in a menacing manner. The clash of these mighty creatures echoed through the forest, and soon, the entire animal kingdom gathered to witness the spectacle. The creatures watched with bated breath as the lion and the bear engaged in a heated battle for the meat. Each tried to outmuscle the other, but neither was willing to back down. The struggle continued for so long that both the lion and the bear grew exhausted and weary. Their once majestic roars and growls turned into feeble, tired sounds, just as it seemed like the fierce competitors were on the brink of collapse. A cunning fox named Fiona appeared on the scene. Fiona, with her sleek orange coat and clever eyes, observed the exhausted lion and bear from a safe distance. Sensing an opportunity, she devised a plan to claim the prize for herself. With stealthy movements, Fiona approached the quarreling duo. She watched as the lion and the bear, too exhausted to continue their battle, eventually lay down beside the coveted meat, panting heavily. Seizing the moment, Fiona saw her chance to snatch the prize from right under their noses. As the lion and the bear caught their breath, Fiona darted between them, swiped the meat with her quick paws, and made a daring escape. The lion and the bear, still recuperating from their prolonged struggle, were too slow to react. Before they could comprehend what had happened, Fiona was already disappearing. Into the dense forest, the stolen meat clutched securely in her jaws. The forest, once filled with the sounds of a fierce battle, fell into a stunned silence. The animals, who had gathered to witness the clash of the titans, were left in awe of Fiona's cunning and quick thinking. It was the sly fox who had outsmarted the mighty lion and the powerful bear, proving that intelligence could triumph over sheer strength. Meanwhile, Fiona, with the stolen meat in tow, found a cozy spot to enjoy her ill-gotten gains. She relished the savory taste of victory and reveled in the knowledge that sometimes we could be mightier than raw power. Back in the clearing, the lion and the bear, humbled by their experience, exchanged a tired glance. In that moment, they realized the folly of their pride and greed. The forest, with its delicate balance, had taught them a valuable lesson, that cooperation and understanding were far more powerful than unnecessary conflict. The lion and the bear, now wiser and more humble, rose to their feet and acknowledged the importance of sharing and unity. They wandered off together, leaving behind the clearing that had been the stage for their intense rivalry. The other animals, witnessing this change of heart, were inspired by the newfound camaraderie among the once feuding predators. And so, in the vast and magical forest, the lion, the bear, and the fox each learned a valuable lesson. The lion and the bear discovered the strength in cooperation, while the fox reveled in the rewards of cunning and quick thinking. The tale of the lion, the bear, and the fox became a legendary story in the forest, passed down from generation to generation as a reminder that sometimes it's not the mightiest who prevail, but those who understand the true essence of harmony and cooperation. The end. The Ass and the Horse. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village surrounded by green meadows and rolling hills, there lived a kind-hearted man who owned a hard-working ass and a sturdy horse. The man and his animals were inseparable companions, traveling together on the winding roads that led through the picturesque countryside. One sunny day, as the trio journeyed along the dusty road, the ass, feeling the weight of his burden, turned to the horse with a plea. His long ears drooping, the ass said, "It is heavy for me. I shall not be able to carry it all. Take at least a part of my load." The horse, however, paid no attention to the ass's request. With a dismissive snort, the horse continued trotting ahead, paying little heed to the struggles of his fellow traveler. The ass, left to bear the full weight of the load, pressed on, determined to keep up with his companion. As they traveled, they were strained under the heavy burden on his back. His legs trembled, and beads of sweat formed on his brow. Despite his best efforts, the load became too much for the poor ass. Overwhelmed, he stumbled and fell, unable to carry the weight any longer. The kind-hearted man rushed to the fallen ass, a look of concern etched on his face. Alas, it was too late. The ass had overexerted himself and succumbed to the strain of the heavy load. The man, saddened by the loss of his faithful companion, knew he had to continue his journey. With a heavy heart, the man transferred the ass's load onto the strong back of the horse. As he did so, he also added the ass's hide to the load. The horse, burdened by the sudden increase in weight, began to complain. "Oh, woe to me, poor one, woe to me. Unfortunate horse," lamented the horse. "I did not want to help him even a little. and now I have to carry everything, and his hide, too." The man, understanding the horse's distress, patted his strong neck and said, "My loyal horse, sometimes it is better to share the burden and help those in need. We must be kind and considerate, for in doing so, we build friendships that last a lifetime." The horse, though initially resistant, began to realize the truth in the man's words. Together, they continued their journey, the horse carrying the load that was once borne by the ass. As they traveled, the man shared tales of compassion, friendship, and the importance of helping others. The lessons learned that day stayed with the horse, shaping his understanding of kindness and teamwork. No longer focused solely on his own strength and speed, the horse became a more compassionate companion to the man and, later on, to other animals they encountered in their travels. In the village, news of the horse's change of heart spread, becoming a heartwarming tale shared among children and adults alike. The story of the ass and the horse served as a reminder that helping each other and sharing the load makes the journey of life more manageable and meaningful. The end. The Jackdaw and the Doves. Once upon a time, in a peaceful countryside filled with tall trees and lush greenery, there lived a clever and mischievous jackdaw named Gemma. Now, jackdaws are known for their shiny black feathers, but Gemma had a curious idea that set her apart from her feathered friends. One day, as she perched on a branch and watched a group of doves happily cooing and feasting in a nearby dovecot, Gemma felt a pang of envy. The doves seemed to lead a charmed life, well-fed and content in their beautiful home. The idea sparked in Gemma's clever mind, what if she could join the doves and enjoy the same privileges? With mischievous determination, Gemma hatched a plan. She flew off in search of something that would help her blend in with the doves. After some exploration, she discovered a stash of white paint left by the humans who lived in the nearby village. Gemma, with her beak dipped in white paint, began to carefully cover her black feathers until she was transformed into what she thought resembled a dove. Admiring her handiwork, Gemma felt a surge of excitement. Now, looking like a dove, she believed she could easily sneak into the dovecot and join the feathery community. With her newfound appearance, she fluttered her wings and flew gracefully toward the dovecot. The doves, unsuspecting and preoccupied with their own affairs, noticed the newcomer and welcomed her with open wings. "Hello there, you must be new around here. What's your name?" cooed one of the doves. Gemma, doing her best to imitate the soft cooing sounds of the doves, replied, "Oh, hello. I'm Dolly, a dove just like you. I heard this is a wonderful place to find delicious treats and make new friends." The doves, pleased to have a new member in their midst, accepted Dolly without a second thought. They shared their food, their stories, and their joyous coos, believing Dolly was one of their own. Gemma, delighted by her successful infiltration, relished in the warmth of the dove community. However, as days passed, Gemma's true nature began to reveal itself. One day, while perched on a branch, she forgot herself and let out a loud and unmistakable jackdaw croak. The doves, taken aback by the unfamiliar sound, turned their heads in confusion. "What was that?" asked one dove, her feathers ruffled. "Oh, that was just a little, dove song." "Yes, a dove song," Gemma stammered, trying to cover up her mistake. But the doves, with their keen sense of hearing, were not fooled. Suspicion lingered in the air, and they exchanged uncertain glances. Something was amiss, and they felt it deep within their feathered hearts. As Gemma continued to live among the doves, her jackdaw habits became harder to conceal. She couldn't resist the occasional croak or the swift, jerky movements that were characteristic of jackdaws. The doves, growing increasingly wary, started to notice the discrepancies in Dolly's behavior. One day, as they all gathered in the dovecot, the doves decided to confront Dolly. "We've been hearing strange sounds and noticing odd behaviors. Are you truly a dove?" asked the leader of the doves, her eyes narrowing with suspicion. Caught off guard, Gemma hesitated. She felt a twinge of guilt for deceiving the kind doves. Finally, she confessed, okay, I admit it. I'm not really a dove. I'm a jackdaw named Gemma. I just wanted to be part of your wonderful community." The doves, disappointed and feeling betrayed, grew silent. The realization that they had been deceived by their feathery friend stung deep. Gemma, fearing she would be driven away, awaited their judgment. After a moment of contemplation, the leader of the doves spoke. "Gemma, it's not right to deceive others, but we believe in giving second chances. If you want to be a part of our community, you must be honest and true to yourself." Gemma, grateful for the dove's understanding, promised to be genuine from that day forward. She removed the white paint, revealing her glossy black feathers. To her surprise, the doves, recognizing her true self, welcomed her back into their community. Gemma, now accepted for who she was, learned the importance of honesty and being true to oneself. She became a loyal member of the dove community, sharing stories, coos, and delicious treats without the need for disguises. However, the story did not end there. News of Gemma's adventures spread throughout the bird community, reaching the ears of her fellow jackdaws. Intrigued by her experiences, they realized the value of authenticity and decided to embrace their own unique qualities. And so, in the vast sky above the peaceful countryside, jackdaws and doves learned to coexist harmoniously. Appreciating the beauty of diversity and the strength found in honesty, Gemma's tale became a well-loved story among the birds, a reminder that true friendships are built on trust and authenticity. And in the peaceful countryside, where trees whispered stories and meadows held the secrets of the wind, the jackdaw and the doves lived together, creating a colorful tapestry of feathers and friendship. The end. The dog, the cock, and the fox. In a land filled with green meadows and tall trees, there were three friends: a playful dog, a proud cock, and a sly fox. One day, they decided to go on an exciting journey together, curious to discover the wonders that lay beyond their familiar surroundings. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the countryside, the trio found themselves near a sturdy tree. The cock, with his vibrant feathers, chose the branches above to rest for the night, while the dog, a loyal companion, settled into a snug spot between the tree's roots. The night arrived, and the peaceful quiet settled over the land. In the stillness, the cock felt a burst of energy and decided to share his joyful voice. With a proud crow, he heralded the arrival of a new day. His cheerful song echoed through the night, catching the attention of a cunning fox. The fox, with her sharp ears and keen eyes, heard the cock's melodious crow and couldn't resist the temptation to investigate. She approached the tree with a mischievous glint in her eyes, hoping to exploit the situation for her advantage. "Dear cock, your voice is truly magnificent," complimented the fox, her words dripping with flattery. "I've never heard such a beautiful crow. Please, come down so I can offer my respects." The cock, wise to the fox's reputation for trickery, responded cunningly, "Thank you for your kind words. Before I come down, you must wake up the janitor. He's sleeping between the roots of this tree. Once he's up, I'll gladly join you." The fox, eager to please the cock, accepted the challenge. She began searching for the so-called janitor, yelping and calling out in hopes of waking him. Little did she know, the janitor was none other than the vigilant dog, who had been keeping watch over his friends while they slept. As the fox yelped and searched, the dog, ever watchful, sprang into action. With a swift and determined movement, he confronted the fox, protecting his friends from any potential harm. The fox, caught off guard by the brave dog, realized her cunning plan had failed. The dog, wagging his tail proudly, stood guard over the cock, ensuring his safety. The cock, perched securely in the tree, looked down with gratitude. "Thank you, dear friend. Your bravery saved us from the fox's trickery," said the cock, his feathers slightly ruffled, but his spirit undeterred. The dog, ever humble, replied, "It's my duty to keep my friends safe. We stick together through thick and thin." The fox, having learned her lesson, slinked away into the shadows, realizing that friendship and loyalty were more powerful than deceit and cunning tricks. The night regained its calm, and the trio continued their journey with a renewed understanding of trust and camaraderie. As the sun painted the sky with hues of pink and gold, the three friends continued their travels. Each step they took, and every adventure they faced, strengthened the bond between the loyal dog, the proud cock, and the sly fox who had learned the importance of honesty and friendship. And so, in the vast countryside, under the watchful gaze of the moon and stars, the trio journeyed on, their friendship unbreakable. The lesson they learned under the tree echoed through the land that true friends always watch out for each other, no matter the cunning schemes of those who might try to deceive them. The end.